there's two other ones that were in your packet. We are not going to go over those today because we would be here all day. What I would like you to do is go home, take a stab at it. Send them to me if you can. I mean, I can set a deadline, maybe give you 2 weeks or 3. It'd be really nice if some folks could just send one back to me and then I can consolidate it and send it out to the group and you can kind of work on it that way. But there's 2 other ones in there and if you just want to try to do those interviews, that would be great. Or if your preference is that I take the first stab and send it out to you guys, we can do it that way too. That makes it easiest and more motivating for folks.
You got time to do that?
Yeah, I do. So that's part of my job. That's part of what I'm here actually to keep this group moving and flowing. If that's what it takes, then
Everything else you got going, I don't think.
it's okay. I just got to give up surfing or something. But for this group, I would do it. So up to you guys. Would you prefer me to make a stab at it and send it out to you guys again? Just
Sure. That's not a bad idea.
okay. Just to get it going.
You got it.
All right. Thanks.
Do that in the next day or 2, right? So we have time to look at it before the RMG?
They're not even going to talk.
Pulling your chain.
I know. I'm going to go for homework over here. Actually, I'm really tired. The other thing that I want to go over before I jump into projects development is that in the back of your the full agenda packet, the very last part of it is about 12 pages of it. It's resource management strategy recommendations. This will be something else to sort of take home and do for homework before our next meeting, which will be in a couple of months. So we got a couple of months. And I'm also going to have to modify this a little bit, but just to give you an idea of what this is and what we expect to get out of this is that we took the priority resource management strategies that the group had identified initially, and we modified that a little bit today. But the 6 that we had originally took as our priorities. For instance, we had flood management. What I did was I went through and I took out of the California Water Plan chapter, I took the recommendations that they had made. And some of them were going to be applicable to the region and some are not. But I just took the whole suite of them so you could see what their recommendations were. Now, one of the things you'll notice, and kind of very interesting with the California Water Plan, the chapters are obviously done by different people. And some chapters are super complete and have, full list of recommendations that they made within the chapter, and there are some that it's just kind of vague. So it really varies across the board, but every chapter in the water plan is tied to resource management strategies and recommendations. So that's what you're going to see. I give you a link to that chapter. If you want to go read that chapter in gory detail, you can. Some of them are actually pretty good, but some of them are a little dry.
So Terry, what you're saying is that what you've got here is a bunch of examples from other
Well, I
documents.
have 2 things. And on flood management, the way the chapter was written in the California Water Plan, I did not even try to copy the recommendations. You can go directly to that chapter. It was crazy. It was a lot to just put on here. So then what I have is the examples from or the recommendations from the California Water Plan, and then following that, try to pull out examples from other water plans, and that's what you'll see here. Lahontan, I refer to theirs quite a bit. Tahoe, Sierra, I think there's a couple, for each strategy, I kind of try to pull some that's relevant to our area. And so that's what we're starting to, this group is going to eventually really need to work towards, is what, make those bullet points. What are the recommendations that we're going to do for resource management strategies that we've adopted?
For this
For
one.
this Upper Federal River region, yeah.
Okay.
And what we're going to ask, and I don't need to see volunteers, but what would probably make sense in this group is if there's going to be 1 or 2 of you, like for your area, for instance, if in Mountain Meadows, you want to just think about, there's a couple ways in which you could do this. You could take each resource management strategy and try to make recommendations based on how we link it to our issues. Or you can think about the specific reasons kind of that you're here in the areas that you want to work with. You could list sort of what your recommendations would be for the region based on your interest in here, and then tie that to the resource management strategies. I mean, you might say, you know, I'm interested in degraded meadows or whatever, and then tie that, and then make some recommendations that you would like to see incorporated in the water plan, and then we can integrate all those and share them. Because I don't think everybody in here has got expertise and interest in all the areas that this group covers in terms of the region. So does that make sense for what we're looking for eventually in terms of, did you have a question?
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're good.
Yes, I do have an issue.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure flood management, we adopted that without really thinking it through. I'm not sure that this is the place where we should be even considering flood management issues as a resource management strategy. There probably are other areas where
And that's what I'm asking you guys to do. In flood management, nobody comes back to the table with any recommendations that fit with flood management, then that one will drop. But,
So I'll make a recommendation right now. I think flood management's got a tremendous amount to do with water quality and quantity.
yeah, then let the ag people do it, or municipal or forest.
well, yeah, and that's good. So it may be though that Jeff does take it on for our group, and he sees some applicability to our group. So I would say don't mix anything right now, and it may not interest you, but take on the issues and the stuff that you're interested in.
It isn't a matter of issues. There's, how many groups are there? There's forest, ag, municipal, and meadows, right? If the real concern with flood management, it seems to me we should be in the municipal stuff.
So there's the floodplains.
Yeah.
Meadows. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, I know, there is some connection there.
So you don't personally have to take it on if there's not, if you don't
It
see
doesn't
that.
have to do with me personally. The plan is not going to be a personal plan, I hope.
No,
Although I
know,
think
but
that's the point, but
my point is don't keep somebody else in the group from taking this on. If there's a linkage, then let's let it kind of come out.
Terry, that wasn't what I was saying. What I was saying was that when we started, without really thinking any of these through, we put flood management in. Now, maybe as a specific and emphasis. Now, I'm not sure that this is the area. I agree that there is a connection between floodplains and flood management, but I'm not sure this is the proper group to be addressing flood management when there's 3 other groups that are much more heavily involved in it.
Everybody else did a tick on it.
It's in our work group title. I don't know how you avoid it. You know, we're floodplains first, meadows, water bodies. How do you not address flood management?
And yeah.
By definition.
And I think, we were the group that took it on as the lead group, so, it may be that it does drop in importance, but we're still gonna make some recommendations towards it. So, I don't really see the point in dropping it right now. I think we're kind of beyond that stage. We've agreed on what we're gonna take on as resource management strategies, and we'll go from there as best we can. And again, it may drop out as not being very significant. That's okay, but, at this point, we've actually even identified quite a few linkages with the issues that we have in here, so stick with that. But does everybody kind of back up a little bit on the resource management strategies? We don't have to use the flood management as an example. You can use ecosystem restoration, but basically I've given you examples, and that's what we're trying to head for. This group eventually is going to want to have recommendations for all of the, particularly the priority resource management strategies we adopted, but we're also going to have to make some recommendations, even if it's just 1 or 2 on the things we have tick marks on. So, does that kind of, so they sort of see where we need, what we're going to end up. I mean, that's one of the big critical roles that this work group's going to end up doing in all these exercises we're kind of doing up to this matrix and everything, or how we lead up to that. So,
Can I ask a timing question?
yes.
these recommendations, do they tie into the projects or into the plan chapters for both? That's just
They
something.
definitely tie into the plan chapters, and in terms of the projects, are
We
not
stick
as
with that.
much.
So,
That's more where our issues are related.
so in terms of timing, this is a bit later in the process. If we don't get closure on this right away, we can still go ahead with our projects. Our
Oh, yeah,
resource
this won't
management
stop
stuff.
projects.
This is gonna be in the chapter
This is on
development.
the chapter
Okay,
development.
because that was the question I had, is like, yeah, I understand it, but this is more chapter stuff.
And but I want people to start thinking, it does guide where we're going. If we put this off to the last minute, we're gonna be like really screwed.
Okay, no, I was just curious about when we really have to start.
No, we've already got
Doing
some
those
people,
11th hour homework doers aren't so big.
we've already
I
got
just
some
think
people started
projects
on
is gonna be
project.
What's that?
We've already got some folks starting on project.
Well, I just think projects can be huge.
Which is what we're gonna jump into next, we're gonna talk about a little bit. So you'll see me refer recommendations from the RMSs, and I'll refine our list a little bit, I'll do that, but that's what we're striving to get out of the financial to the next 4 or 5 months. So in terms of projects and where we're at with the project solicitation, I think everybody got an email that showed that you got the conceptual form and you got a more detailed form. And that shows your timeline. This stuff, this was released on April 7th. And so based on the recommendations that came out of the work groups, originally the management group had only recommended this step 2, this big full form. And based on what they heard from us, all the work groups were pretty much unified. They wanted to see a proof of concept type of 2-page project solicitation form. So that was put back into the mix. And this is the tentative timeline, so we were released on April 7th. They're due by June 1st. So just the 2-pager, not the full-on big form, but the 2-pager will be due by June 1st. So this is the, get project ideas. So some of these projects that we've already brought up in this group, if they're ready to be at least fill this format, we need to start, this will be the first step. One of the things to be reminded of is that if this is going to go through the IRWM plan in terms of soliciting funds and grants through the IRWM process, you will have to be working with one of the MOU signatories in order to get your project pushed through. Right now, there's, I think, still only 5, although I know the Thunder River RCD just signed theirs, so there's 6 or 7 entities out there that these projects will have to be basically sponsored by, or those entities can actually initiate their own projects. But, so,
Terry,
Yeah.
do you have a list of those,
I can get, I don't have it from UMA, so I can get that and get it updated, because
It's in the earlier documentation.
of the ones who've signed so far, the 5.
Would it be like one of the first packets?
Well, there was a bunch that signed, but they need to re-sign before you.
Right, no, we're looking just for the new signatories, there's only 5 right now, so I need to find out who they are, yeah, it's not the old signature, for the same people, but only 5 have signed up. Forest Service, I think he's getting ready, they've signed or getting close to.
So did you say they are project sponsors, so it's a project? Then it's-
By being a signatory, then you can be part, once the IRW plan is gone through its final review and it's been accepted by DWR, then when IRWM funds come available, then you can put a project forward for it. So the Forest Service can put in for projects, or if there was someone you were working with.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. But in order for it to be even included in the plan, it has to be with an MOU signatory. So you
More or
guys
less-
can put stuff through, you're gonna be a
It's more or less
signatory.
an assurance that you're gonna be following what you're supposed to be following according to DWR in there. Right? That's what the MOU is for.
And it just shows that when you do your project, you thought about the
Right.
whole rest of that.
Well, we're an advisory signatory, so we're actually.
It's just one of those mechanisms that say, when you put in a project, do you understand how everything's connected to everything? understand the basic or agree with the basic connections in the plan, like these connections we just wanted to convey. You kind of
So
acknowledge
there's
that.
an organization in the community, they want a project to the plan, they have to work with someone on the signature.
Or they can, if they're,
They can
they
become a
can
signatory.
become a signatory. They don't have to.
So-
It's up to them how individuals would want to have to partner up. That's what the RCDs and do, they help individuals and things
That's
like
kind of like.
that. But if there's a group already and they're kind of supportive of what's going on in here, then they would behoove them to be their own signatory.
Example would be like log, where we don't have the facilities, the internal, we're not a non-profit, so we don't have the internal ability to deal with monies and all that. So we go through some other entity like
Eligible, yeah.
or an RCD or something like that that has all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
So, yeah, if there's someone at the table that is interested in becoming an MOU signatory, I mean, let me know and we'll get you that MOU and we'll get options.
I was just curious as to, you said that Foresters is a signatory at this point. Is that forest specific or is that just
It's the bonus right now.
It's just a,
Yeah, so the two other, Tahoe and Lassen would probably have to go through that. But the reason we started with Plumas is that template would probably be the template that we'd look at for your district.
I don't think we signed it.
No, everybody's still working
on
through
this.
the documents, so it's better to have one that's signed and then you can kind of go, okay, here's the template, what about this project?
Well, because we should include the Tahoe
Oh,
and
absolutely, We're just trying to make it easier by starting with the Plumas with most of the.
It's just everybody's slow on the MOUs.
Everybody's slow, it's another big complicated one.
So, yeah, yesterday, Lumen kind of settled out some project solicitation, public meetings. Do you have those too?
yeah. Oh, in terms of the May 6th and May 7th.
Yeah, the May 6th, they're going to be at the Chester Memorial Hall on May 5th at 6 p.m. And in Portola on May 6th at 6 p.m. at the City Hall. And this is where it gets a little vague for you guys because we're saying we want you to be an MOU signature, but we've not closed this off for the general public to come forth with projects either. So that's still a little gray area for me. If a member of the public submitted a project that was worthy of being in the plan, I'm not quite sure how that mixes with the requirement to sign the MOU.
I know right now we encourage you to go.
Well, a lot of the eligibility of the grant guidelines, the individual is not eligible to apply for IRWM funds, okay, period. So they have to partner up with somebody. So a lot of that has to do with that. Who are the groups that they are most likely to partner up with, and do we have those groups in our MOU pool? I mean, that's
What time is the meeting in Chester and?
It's 6.
They're both at 6.
They're both at 6.
And when is Portola?
Portola's May 6th, and Chester is May 5th.
Motions.
Now, we couldn't get the 7th, so it's
Oh,
the 5th and the 6th. Yeah, we didn't, she settled it out right yesterday.
And I was right on this.
Yes.
Turned off the email.
So that's gonna be publicized in the media and people are gonna be invited to attend to talk about projects.
And I don't know,
Yeah, it's just to make sure that we get
there'll
everybody.
be a news release, yes.
And they'll have a brochure to handle our, and then they can go, okay, well, how about partnering up with some of these other groups, RCDs and.
So it would be really good if these other groups have representatives at these meetings as well, because it might be good time to make.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the newspaper.
Jim, you had them in,
Do you need that kind of linkage for your conceptual projects, or would it be more in line for the project information?
I think we're waiting, did they put, I have to make sure, because that came up at the management group meeting about actually adding. Good question. Yeah, so the last question on the pre-concept proposal was, has your agency or organization signed or intend to sign a memorandum of understanding? So, and there's a place for comment, so I think you don't have to submit one of these, you wouldn't have to be, but you probably would have to say, by the time this full proposal part is footage, you need to be linked to someone, so just to get people to think about that, so that someone doesn't just start to go through this exercise and then realize, oh, I'm not linked to an entity that can actually go forward, that would be what people waste their time.
So for the initial little short form, you can check no and say, get considered, but in the end, there will be nothing.
It's just right about
So right now, the sponsoring entities are RTDs and the two counties and the four.
Well, no, those are just people that assign.
Okay.
You know, the signatory thing's gonna be ongoing.
So it could be the NGOs or.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
And now, recognizing that some grant funds want NGOs or not, I was just saying individuals have to be partners. And each grant source might have different requirements, I'm not really sure.
Well, the thing that I remember too was, that they stressed this, are you ready to proceed preparing? Do you have the information for the long form? If you do, it's pretty important that you check that box.
So the two-pager is due, so those were, the two things that came out of the regional, watershed management group meeting. The recent one was that, how ready is your project? Are you ready to fill out that long form, which you can see it's pretty detailed, and then, whether you're hooked up or plan to be hooked up with the signatory. So this is due June 1st, and you can submit as many as you want. Tim?
Unless I misunderstood what was just said, Plumas Forest is right now being asked to sign in on.
Is the last of the end.
Right.
Oh,
All the
so there is
original.
communication with Tahoe already to do that. I didn't.
There were letters that
When is that national?
Okay. It's up. Thank you.
and so
Everybody's a little slow in getting the MOUs in. I'm kind of looking even at the management group and knowing that not all of those groups behind them have it in. But if there's engagement, like in this room, everybody's here, you haven't signed anything, or everybody's engaged. In the end, the MOU is important. But it doesn't preclude you from this practice and really wanting to participate.
And I'll send out a list of our current, I think I can do that, I'll just ask them to get the current list of who's, just so people know, who has signed already. So I'll get that out to everybody as soon as I can get that from time. Were there any other questions in our, I know because everybody's pretty good with the project solicitation and
Sorry, could you explain environmental justice to me?
I can.
On the short form.
Sure.
Short definition, just trying to treat people equitably, like a lot of common examples are like in low income neighborhoods and industrial areas where there's like, for instance, Richmond, California, where you have a huge refinery and there's super poor people who live nearby and they get exposed to higher rates of pollutants than others. So environmental justice is kind of talking about trying to ensure that all folks of all demographics are respected equally. That's my take on it.
Yeah, then all the money doesn't go to the richest communities in the state.
As a matter of fact,
Substantial ones with substantial.
As a matter of fact, it's specifically what money's supposed to be directed towards disadvantaged communities. Specifically. And Greenville maybe too.
Greenville's is called severely.
Well, but you can go on the census and you can find those communities.
Yeah,
And-
we're gonna have to do a whole chapter on it.
Loyalton is another one.
But they're reviewing the whole definition for disadvantaged communities now too, because Dr. Clocker has been asked by the governor to sit on that committee. Of course, what they did was they come out with that list, and the peninsula is a disadvantaged community.
Yeah, that's a
But East Shore is not, which don't make any damn sense.
No, we're having to go through it. So there's two pieces. One is, did they define it right? How should we define it? We're gonna ask Jonathan Kiesel, the social scientist, to help us with, do they have it right? Maybe school lunches is a better measure. You know, how do you really get at these
Yeah,
communities?
they're reviewing that now.
But he's involved in the other piece, which is the environmental burden piece, and that's where the urban areas kind of took all the AB 32 money that could have gone to disadvantaged communities, because they framed it as how much pollution do you have to put up with every day. And so if you're next to the Stockton shipyard, you're getting a whole lot of pollution that we would never get up here. But wildfires are pollution. You know, it's not like we have no pollution here. So that's a fight that's going on, and that's what he's on, that part. So there's two parts. How do you define burden, and who are these people? Okay, so, you know, and tribes have been completely left out of the whole thing. So there's a little bit more, we'll keep you appraised.
We had a meeting with Tom Ritter after the municipal groups meeting, Lynn and I, and went through the website and gave some feedback on it. We're still working on it too. What
It's
is
the definition, you know. And we're a whole region. You know, when it comes down to projects, like a lot of the poor communities will partner up with the rich community. Well, if you're a whole region that doesn't have any rich communities, what are you going to do as far as getting the treatment plants upgraded and all that sort of thing?
I have a question, and it is, because I'm not at that municipal thing. Is Sierraville, PUD, and Calpine Waterworks District, and the city of Loyalton, and Sierra Brook, are they all being represented at those?
We had Sierraville was represented.
The Sierraville
We had
PUD?
the other ones.
They're
Sierraville wasn't the
notified.
last one, but Sierraville was at the municipal meeting. I think that's part of the reason we want to do these project solicitations in Portola and Chester, is so we can grab more. It was a little frustrating because we were sending this out pretty broadly, especially the municipal and all the special districts, and yet a lot of them haven't come back and said yes. They haven't participated. So, kicking and screaming, we'll try to get them in.
You know, when the next municipal meeting.
They didn't set a meeting, no, but it'll be, we're gonna try to set ours for about the fourth week of June, there's probably gonna target the third week of June. Yeah. So it will be after, so our next work group meeting,
We've got a Sierraville has a curtailment issue on their water, and I'm on the fire commission, and we're a little concerned about our hydrants drying up all of a sudden because of the ownership of the water that goes into the Sierraville PUD. So I was kind of hoping that they would.
They had been there the first meeting, yes.
you could probably have talked to Emma a little more since she's the coordinator for that group too, she could fill you in. Randy, did you?
I just had a question on, you know, as far as the project submittal, is a one-time deal, or is there, you know, what's the frequency?
For the being included in the plan, it's a one-time thing right now, so June 1st is what we're, this is, I understand, unless it has any other.
We're arguing about that.
Yeah.
And some of it's just open, people, just because you were here at the first meeting doesn't mean you don't want to get some project, you know, so I think it's gonna be ongoing, is my hope. I mean,
Right now, it's instead of one.
No, but this is the first solicitation, but most of the IRW and planning groups do multiple solicitations, that's all I'm saying.
Right.
So, yeah, it's the first one, but it may not be the only one, I guess.
We can't rule out the public, so.
Well, right,
You have to go
we got a
on.
2-year planning process, and you know, at the end, you go through the final projects.
Right.
So,
One of the things we did is we accelerated the project solicitation in our process above actually creating a plan to try to put ourselves in positions to get money. So we kind of flip-flopped it around when we designed the program, which kind of leads you to say project solicitation will be likely, very likely ongoing at some point, but the first shot at it is to try to be able to get in line for some funding.
yeah, the water storage fund, the new one, the stuff's rolling out right now. All the grant guidelines are rolling out. So if you really wait to do the whole plan and then go, oh yeah, well, I always knew I wanted to do this project, then people just kind of shut or something. So that's why I think it's going to be ongoing.
I'm just trying to get the time, you know, perception of, you know, how much to include as far as out-year type stuff, you know.
When you look at the other plans, some of their project pages are 300-400, I mean, these are bigger areas, of course. So you got the plans, like what is out there, what would you like to do, and then what are we gonna do now, and why? So it's two things. Just like all these baseline technical studies, it's a snapshot in time. What do you want? What do you think is important? What should we be doing out there?
Short term and long term.
And then you'll go in for right now, given the grant guidelines and where everybody wants to go right now. This is what we're doing now. But that doesn't mean you're not thinking about things that are much later, really, and bigger maybe.
But even once the plan is adopted, the management group will be beginning to solicit more projects.
I think you're obligated to do it. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if you've got a project that you're pretty well familiar with what you're gonna do with it, get it in now, so.
Well, if you just went through these resource management strategies, you know what fits already.
So any other questions on that part? And again, as Randy mentioned, people are exact to do, go through the project solicitation meetings and customer portfolio. The deadline for the larger, the step 2 forms is right now slated for August 1st. And that's going to go to the management group. And in terms of prioritizing projects, that part is still being worked out, so I don't really think I can give you a whole lot on that. I would say just encourage you to think about projects that are relevant to this group and at least get them to discuss on phase how. Because that'll start to really give us an idea too what's going to kind of bubble out of this group as the really important things. And are there things we can consolidate into bigger projects and comprehensive projects?
And so I'll volunteer our coordinators to help when people are struggling with these forms. That's what we're here to help do too.
So are there any questions on that? Good. I think we're about ready to wind up for the day then.
Then I do have a question.
Uh-huh.
I have a couple questions. One, where did goal 5 come from?
That came from the egg group.
Yeah, well, how are we going to add and subtract goals? Because I'm having some struggle with the concept of the people's money being spent on working landscapes. It doesn't seem to be completely related to water management. The other 4 goals seem to be related to water management. All of a sudden, we've added a 5th goal that has to do with the enrichment of a certain group of people. And that concerns me.
Well, I can take you back from Forrest. I'll take you back to Forrest. That the recognition is that the benefits of, say, forests, whether they're in private or public ownership, have public benefits. Okay.
No, that isn't the question.
Oh, okay, then maybe I don't understand.
The question is goal 5, which is a working landscape. We're going to take it and develop.
Forest lands are working landscapes, right?
That's
So
what I was
she's
trying to
answering
say.
the question.
2 landscapes that people think about mostly are forest working landscapes and agricultural working landscapes. So I was going to take a shot at some forest, which is, if you're a forest manager, you have to meet a bottom line and you have a product that does that. But then there's all these public benefits about how you do it that either has higher or lower public benefits. And that's why.
I'm a forest. I have a forest, part of the forest. We provide 200-page timber harvest plans every time we cut one tree, practically. So the public gets all kinds of knowledge about what we do. Is that what we're talking about?
For example, in forest, I'll try one more time. Forest, for example, one of the benefits you don't get credit for is whether you sequester carbon in your forest. Okay, I'm just, another huge sequestration of carbon is land soil. Okay, so it's an example of the states trying to lower, increase their storage, lower their emissions. One of the ways they could do that is to help you keep your bigger, longer trees longer because that benefits the state. I'm just saying that's like a
We're already doing
loss.
that in our timber harvest plans. We're reporting our sequestration numbers.
Now, you may be able to afford it with what you do profitably. Other people may not, that's all, like urban forests, it's a huge thing, they need it desperately, and each little municipality can't afford the kind of tree planting and management that they need to do. So I'm just saying, there's these public benefits, and that's all this is trying to get at.
And we're gonna use integrated regional water management plan funds. Let me use myself as an example, to manage my forest, and so that I can really benefit, because I'm gonna provide you with some, I have a number of streams that pass through there, all these public benefits. I'm gonna leave a couple big trees so that we can sequester some carbon.
That's a possibility, you know, that, I'm just saying that that's the opportunity. Whether people think if that's a worthwhile thing of funds, that's a whole other question, but it's an opportunity.
But once it becomes a goal of this group, then it becomes a prioritization issue, right?
I'm confused, what are we talking about?
We're talking about goal number 5, which just appeared.
When we had the meeting.
The management committee has adopted it, that's where we are.
Oh, I see, so we put it in because.
Management group adopt, so it's, protect and enhance the health and economic viability of working landscapes. So that was introduced by the ag work group and.
Yeah, I understand that,
group
but when we
voted.
had the discussion on it, it's already in 3 unless you want to get specific to it.
We made that recommendation, they don't have to follow it.
So the management group did adopt it. I don't know if there's much negotiation, if there was concern in this group, we obviously could bring it because they didn't share with all the work groups the changes before we were introduced to them. And I'm not sure that's the intent, I think that would.
You know, at this point, if you want to argue that we come out of the plan, go to the management group, and make that case.
Yeah, I mean, definitely they want to hear your concerns, so if there are concerns that come out of your groups, your decisions, that's.
I have another concern now, and that is I'm not clear as to what the boundaries of the Feather River Integrated Regional Water Management Plan is. Is it that map?
I put up the map, right?
Oh, did you put the map? Oh, good.
It's that.
Yep.
So let me ask you a question. I think this has been brought to Terry by somebody else. Trout Unlimited has a project in Deer Creek, not in this water bank, just outside of it. So we're close enough. Are we going to be able to include that project in this one? So if our project is not within the boundaries of the Feather River Integrated Regional Water Management Plan area, then we're not going to consider those projects.
Are you in another IRW?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They're all. There's one. Sierra County's got 4.
No, but this project you're talking about.
Yes, it's in another one.
Which one is it?
It's in Tahoe Sierra.
Okay.
In that.
No, you're talking
No,
about
I'm talking not Deer Creek. Deer Creek. I don't know the name of the one in Deer Creek. But there's one on the Little Truckee River. The Little Truckee River is in the Tahoe Sierra. So if we're doing a project, as an example, in the Little Truckee River, we should be working with the Tahoe Sierra Island.
Mm-hmm.
So we should not be planning on including that in our plan.
Yeah, that boundary is set by what they call the regional acceptance process.
Yeah, those were, but if you had a creek, for example, that went through both, then we would be talking about, well, how do we talk to the other IRWM and see how we get that together, you know what I mean? But if it's clearly in one of the other ones, then probably we wouldn't be taking it up.
Without an amendment to the boundary.
I'm gonna watch that one.
Well, let's take it as a couple specific examples, even focusing in more on what Deer Creek is.
Deer Creek is over by
An example, we have a diversion coming off Little Truckee into Sierra County.
There you go.
And the Sierra Valley. And so you can bet that there may be projects centering around the use of water from the diversion.
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that the diversion is in the Tahoe Sierra boundary should not penalize where the beneficial use of the water is placed.
But my question is who's going to fund that project?
Should be this way.
Why this group? The entire project is in the Tahoe Sierra.
No.
The only part of in my example, the only part of that project that's in Tahoe Sierra is the diversion structure.
And the canal, the whole thing is in the only thing that's in this area is once it drops into the watershed.
Yeah, but okay, so that's an example where it's in two groups, okay? And
No, it is, but we've already addressed this once. And that is, this is a private water conveyance system. So once it gets into our watershed here, it's not, this is private water that has nothing to do with anything except to irrigate my property. And the issue is but the entire structure that we are going to, the project is going to be in Tahoe Sierra. Once it drops into the Feather River area, it becomes, it runs in a stream, in a series of streams.
Right.
Well, that's your problem. I mean, I don't know, to me, that should be taken under the management.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
We already know what the management is. I already know what they're going to decide. They've already made that decision. The question is,
I don't think that, I disagree because I never heard that question.
I know you haven't.
presented.
I know you haven't. I'm sure you haven't. But it's been made. The issue is that's the issue. Is that boundary where we're going to do the construction, or is it not? I mean, are the projects going to be in the Feather River, or are they going to be in the Truckee River, or in the the Upper Sacramento, whatever the one is over there, or Long Valley, Lahana?
So I'm guessing that nobody here really knows, so it needs to be a good question for us to
It's
try
kind
to
of a
pursue and
unique
answer.
situation, having an
It is.
interbasin transfer like that.
Yeah, actually, it's more than an irrigation transfer. It transfers Great Basin water to the Pacific Ocean watershed. So
I know.
it's really serious.
I know what it is. I mean, it is an
But I do
interbasin
think it's
transfer.
a really important question.
No,
It
it's
is.
super important. I
guess
think we
we
need
have
some
talked about
guidance
it.
before, yeah.
We have talked about it a couple of times, and it's been specific to this Deer Creek project, which we think is very important because there are salmon in that flood. And it's a very important project for us. And so I guess the situation is, I do think it's something that needs to be considered, I guess, at the executive committee level.
Or just some clarification, maybe even higher up than that, about what does this mean when you cross down? I'm sure this is occurring with other IRW region. I'm sure there's crossover, so we probably even go higher up.
Well, there's a crossover in our region. The boundary goes all the way down to the dam at Lake Orville. So as a result of that, we're going to have to address an MOU for that section to the Upper Feather with the other region down there. So that's possible that could happen with an MOU between Sierra and this region. It needs to be defined in order for us to go approach that. So I don't think that's beyond the question. I know it's unique that we have an interbasin transfer that happens here.
It's not unique to California. No, it's not unique. Miami needs to have this transfers. Colorado wants to sing.
So we'll get some clarification on that too, and some guidance even in terms of what, putting projects in. It seems like at this point, it would be a bad idea to just stick with the
Put
concept
it in,
proposal
put it in.
and make that note of it, because at least then you're putting that project forward and we can begin to work on those details. And also at the same time, we'll be looking for an info, I'll try to get something out to you guys, if you can get some clarification on
The
it.
county normally has a series of projects, not connected, but they have different projects that have been involved in other basins, and their position is that if you ever use the benefit, where the benefit accrues,
Right.
is usually where the money flows.
So you identify the need to do that.
Correct. But that
Which is good.
the Natterman process, that's on the west side, but I'm sure there are other examples where that has been the case that there has to be. But it's a good point, it should be addressed so that there's clarity for those that are considering projects.
And again, I'd say just putting projects in. Before we use too many more people, I'd like to set a, if we can, set a date for the next meeting. And then we can continue conversation on this. I am targeting, I don't know, Fridays seem like they're working for people. I would maybe love to target that last, third What's the date on the third?
Third, the 19th, and you're talking June, right?
Yeah, June.
So the third Friday is the 19th, and the fourth is the 26th.
How does the 26th sound with people? June 26th, the Friday.
I don't like Friday.
I like Fridays.
That was neutralized you.
What is, are we looking pretty good for June 26th? I mean, obviously we may not be able to.
And when's Zoom?
Uma hasn't checked, I had to ask if she has.
We always want to be behind Uma.
Well, it makes more sense because she.
Of course, we like to be behind you guys.
Yeah, you're always schooling the norm.
Oh, that's right.
It's
good activity.
26.
26, let's, if I'm not hearing a huge bunch of names, let's go for 26, 9 o'clock.
Same thing, same thing as this.
Same place, 9 o'clock.
Terry,
Yes.
are you talking about May?
No, June. We
June.
do every other month, yeah.
For our next week. No, we did do it.
So June 26, 9 a.m.
Thanks, Terry.
Same place, thank you guys, everybody. I'll try it. I'll try some more stuff out here.
Before everybody comes up, that's such a good question. What's the common knowledge around the region, particularly from the management perspective of the monitoring expectations on this project? Is there policy language that you can direct me to, or is there anything in place that will define what the expectations are and coordination, the communication back and forth between individual projects? It seems to me that they're all individually monitored.
So who's gonna collectively like collect that
Yeah,
information?
there's a real need to talk about monitoring.
And that has come up, but I don't know that it's actually really been directly addressed, and that's definitely would be something really important that we could bring up as a group at the next, because I think it is huge for this group. It's really huge, and it's been one of the holes that's been identified in the past and currently that we
That's
have.
probably something that the management group is going to eventually have to take up.
We'll have to see how much they want to, or somehow address it, definitely. So we can put that out to them. I think that's actually really a good thing to get on their radar screen. We've sort of talked about it on the side a little bit, but I guess we really embraced it. So I'm glad we brought that up. So we'll have our chair for the next meeting.
I'm gonna be there with you.
Oh, I got a note on Facebook.
So we are, so we'll like, do that first one. Thank you guys. Thanks, Terry.
Wanted to shut this thing down.
Yeah, absolutely. Hot, right?
Neil, tell me which ones are happy about basically. They have four rivers. No, you can't get out of basically happy.
Well, nowadays, putting this, there's something now like the American River a couple years ago. What they got is they had an MOU between that the ones in here.
But we're not. What is this?
The whole it is the right
And they are talking about, and what they were talking about, like the expanding. How do they keep
But here's the thing.
Given that the people can't be, well, not necessarily, you know, given that unless they designate areas of you know, there has to be some way.
Nobody knows.
But without letting them do the
That's water out. I mean, there's springs, bubbling springs that fall right into it depends upon the pipeline is just to get it over into this, because once it's here, it'll be. Because
I think everybody's kind of waiting for it. And I don't think it's necessarily but you asked all the right questions. And then when we bring these, that's their we think. Well, they're not necessarily, okay, there's.
It sounds like there'll be more reservoirs in the state of California. But it doesn't matter. That's what they want to do.
What they also do is and then they close. So that's another way to do it where they have to decide things about being size.
Who's on the board? Paul, Sherry's. Paul. We're all here. Bill, Paul, Terry Scotland's he's the supervisor. He's Paul. There's a full majority. Hey, Randy, who's on the Paul, Bill, Sherry, Terry Slaughter,
Which is
Trina.
Okay, the only two places.
Chuck Green.
And then I tried to agree to make it from our view, we see the actions.
And then, somebody.
Okay, so it would be much more specific instead of tell us everything. It would be like, in this river parkway project upstream of Greenville.
You know, one thing that may happen.
We used to have gathering areas, this region between where no water is
Say you're on Syria, Mercy Green.
Same thing.
Your city.
and then you have a robust that's tied to neighborhood.
Discussion of that.
Designate that area as a river parkway.
I think that's what Sherry's going with.
She wants to.
Yeah.
If she's confident, hasn't come out. There's two more, because the majority is made up of cattle and people. Bill, Paul.
I think all these things will come out, you know, in a couple that notice. The more it's tied to a place, the kids will. The schools get landscape. You're building on two things. So you tie the marine landscape, you tie the river, and then you hit every town. It's every town. Now, what town do we have in this town that doesn't have a creek? There's a few. Okay.
Of course it's that.
What?
You
Then
know,
you have a place where everyone knows, this is where we're focusing on learning, this is where the knowledge comes together. And then people can start figuring out how this language is going. What can we do?
Well, again, you know, I'm not sure what's going to play
In
too
that
often
town, so you do things to get this fish up where it needs to be. Everyone goes, and it directs all of learning to something within their lifetime.
Look at us, but here's, it was the project, the only thing we can do. I'm not, you know what was going on, I'm not being critical, Randy, I'm not being critical, I'm just saying, this project that I was talking about is the project. It's going to be
And ways out to
Water-
education, those are the three.
Water Corporation.
Those are the three wheels you're trying to put together a project.
That is the project.
And to me,
It's not even located in our district, in our area. It should be probably done
River
in
Parkways,
Tahoe
outdoor,
Sierra.
what is Rob's outdoor education, that's his K1 through 6th grade.
MOU, what are we doing?
Home,
Now, I've never heard that on we don't have storage.
okay, all right, so his outdoor, and learning landscape is.
Okay, here's the project, the project that they take
Kinda,
60
learning
CFS.
landscape, they do other things about Rob.
Corporate.
Okay, so
Sure.
you have these three.
We have
things,
seven
you
CFS.
have not,
Yeah,
you know,
certain period of time.
so we don't want
From
this,
March
roundhouse
through September,
council,
depending
like his
on.
and Rob.
We have to bypass 5 CFS at certain times, 3 CFS. So we don't have to do it.
So what I'm saying is let's keep it loose.
That's the,
These three
it's a very old
wheels.
one. The issue, the project is to take and pipeline that
In
water,
Greenville, they might.
build a pipeline.
In
Get it
Fairfield, they might.
That's the risk.
And TU might have a role with.
Once that's
It's
done,
different than a role
and
with.
build a
You know what I
reservoir
mean? It's
so
just
they
kind
can
of.
store that water and use it over a longer period of time.
I've heard of this.
I can't see the reservoir.
But anyway, it's really hooking education.
Get through the
And
single
restoration.
process
And
of
the
the
river.
You're gonna be crazy.
Is
Well, I mean, you're really, really.
part of the IRWM.
Well,
who knows what they're going to say?
Because
the issue is that's the issue.
That could go all the way to the park.
You're gonna have some
That
fun.
is.
You're gonna have some fun.
Chester. We
Like I
have.
told you, Tim,
We have some
government
all the
plans,
way to.
piece of cake,
Valley.
or one thing.
Right through the town of Portola. That's how this, that trail. The
You're
old-
watching this.
This piece is another.
You know, when you come right into
I'm
town,
watching
that
this
was the
game.
river.
It's gonna be fun to watch.
That was the River Parkways program. It is the #1 favorite
There you go.
program.
See you guys later.
That's
Yeah.
the only program.
Guys, I'm getting off.
Okay, see you, bye, and the, probably the only program, the IWM, I'm not saying you shouldn't put this in, well, you should be looking at a lot of projects coming out right now. But as far as IWM, if we could get a couple unique plans hooked into a couple river parkways, we might have a competitive project. You know, but everything else is like missing the. So yeah, as soon as you hear of a date, you know, let me know, so that I can put it on my calendar, because I gotta schedule. Yeah,
Okay.
because I wanna schedule a work group meeting, but I can't schedule them over the top of this other stuff. I'll be like, oh, sorry, I'm lying, I can't show up. And I want you guys to be leaders in practice. And the rest, and.
It's hard.
Well, it's like where are the natural resources now?